We're talking all about how to deal with uncertainty. And so in this video, we are going to tackle that head on because if the last 2.5, almost 3 years hasn't taught us anything, it's certainly going to be that life is uncertain. And so here we are again at the precipice of some major things going on in the world, right? Globally shifting, creating a lot of ups and downs, which then makes us feel very uncertain, and it creates a lot of stress, anxiety, and fear. So, we're going to break it down in the next 5 to 10 minutes max, talking a little bit more about how to actually deal with this with some concrete strategies and steps for you to actually move through, to bust through, and still see results. If you're brand new to me, my name is Susan McVeigh. I'm a business sales strategist, and I help entrepreneurs just like you sell with more ease without the sleaze so that you can make more money, more impact, and live your life of freedom and flexibility. So, uncertainty. Who hasn't faced uncertainty? And if right now you are struggling with it, or you're trying to figure out, how do I pivot again? How do I break free? How do I move through and not feel bad about what's going on in the world? Because I still have to forge ahead. I still have to make a living. I still have mouths to feed and to do the things that you need to do, right? You have dreams and desires and results that you're still striving for as you finish out the rest of this year and as you're planning for the coming years ahead. Hello, Janie, right? So if that sounds like you, give me a hell yes in the comments, because I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. Uncertainty is the biggest killer of dreams and desires and outcomes and results, and the thing that we're called to do here on planet Earth. Because here's the thing. Everything is uncertain. And I know that there's moments in time where life feels more uncertain than others, and perhaps that's what's going on right now, right? I've had a lot of conversations with folks that are wondering and waiting for a sign, or what do I do next? And I kind of wonder, because I've been there too, what are you waiting for? Like, how will you know that the time is finally right? How will you know that it's now, like now is the opportunity? How will you know that you need to get back in the game? And I think we need to pause and reflect, because a lot of times the fear of uncertainty becomes a habit, and it becomes a choice of staying stuck in uncertainty. Does this make sense? Because instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not quite sure what to do in this moment, because it is something new, it is something that I haven't encountered before. Let's face it, the things that are happening right now in the world, I've never gone through in my entire life. And if we look back through history, whether it's through the financial markets, the economy, just history at large with where people are at, what has happened in the world with the conflicts and political situations, most of what's gone on is brand new, right? We may have encountered similar things, it's evoked similar emotions and similar patterns of behavior, but this life that I'm living right now and these steps that I'm taking right now, I've never walked this walk before, right? So if that's the case, then how can I expect to have all the answers and to have like 100% certainty? We can't. We can't. And so, as long as we resign ourselves to the fact that uncertainty is not a bad thing. And I think right now, number one, take care of yourself, right? How do you manage and deal with uncertainty? Well, you first have to address what's happening physiologically in your body. And that's going to be different for all of us. So that's very important. And I think sometimes we ignore the signs and the signals of our body, our mind, our spirits, our souls, our emotions, like knocking at the door and saying, hey, this is not good. We can't handle this. Now, here's what I know. You wouldn't be here if you couldn't handle what life has to throw at you. I'm guaranteeing that what you've already gone through in life in the past is probably far worse than what's happening right now. Far worse, right? Because you're still here to live another day. You're still here to breathe another breath. You're still here to do what you're going to do. And if that's the case, then we have great opportunity. And with great opportunity comes uncertainty. There is no blueprint. There is no roadmap. And yes, other people may have walked before you, but here's the truth. that we're all just kind of making it up as we go along. I'm going to say the thing that nobody else has the guts to say. We all are making it up until we figure it out. And once we figure it out, then absolutely we have a roadmap. It's just like when you go to grandma's house for the first time, if there is no road to get there, then you may be going through, logging area. You may be going through a park trail. You might be going in the great unknown until that road gets traveled over and over and over again. Then it becomes a proven path, right? Then it becomes a blueprint or an actual map that your phone can tell you, go here, go left here, go on the highway, right? And so in those initial stages, every road that we travel is going to be bumpy. And guess what happens with bumps? It's uncomfortable, right? Like your tushy gets rocked a little bit. You might be hitting your head on the ceiling. You might be jostled around. All of these things happen as we navigate territories and areas of our life, of our business, of our health, our relationships, of our finances that we've never walked before. We can take guidance and instruction and help, mentorship, right? Coaching and guidance from others who have walked similar things. Similar being the key word here. So nobody can tell you 100% that this is going to work for you exactly as it needs to work. Okay. Now, here's the thing. When I'm working with clients, I often do give a pretty concrete guarantees because after 20 plus years of dealing with financial matters, business matters, my own personal health matters, I have a pretty good handle on what works for the majority. But if you don't work, it's not going to work. There is no magic. There is no magic in terms of I'm just going to breathe on you and all of a sudden you're going to catch what I have. There is a spark that you can get from me. There is an idea that you're going to be able to go, oh my gosh, I got it. There is clarity that happens in that moment when you're hearing somebody else who's already forged ahead and does have the vision and the foresight to know exactly what they've done in the past through these moments. But I want to share with you that I guarantee that you have something that you have done that's probably similar. Is it exactly the same? No. But here's what I know. Expertise, wisdom, knowledge, experience, it transfers. It transfers from domain to domain. And that means that what you have done in the past, so here's the tactical piece, right? Because I have clearly had a lot to say on this topic. I didn't realize I was going to get so worked up. So uncertainty comes with lack of clarity. And it's not even just what should I do in this moment? Because sometimes you actually don't know. Find something or someone who has done something similar so that you can walk in their path. But again, you have to be aligned to it. Okay. The second piece is when we go so broad, and this is the trap, along with number 3. When we go so broad and we go, oh my gosh, everything is uncertain. Well, is that true? Is that true? Because that's fear speaking, right? So that's 2 and 3 kind of combined. When we go so broad out and we just broad brush everything that we're doing with the same word, which is uncertainty, which is the killer of your dream, right? And we say, well, the world is uncertain. And we make these general broad statements. They're coming from a place of fear. And if we actually narrow down our focus and we say, well, is that actually true? Is everything that you're doing uncertain? Because I'm pretty sure there's something that you have done right now, even today, that you were pretty sure about, that you were expecting a certain result. And because you've done it before, you kind of knew what to expect. And so out of 100 things that you've done today, 100 thoughts that you had today, maybe it was less than 5 that you were like, and maybe it was 1. Maybe it was the one thing that you needed to do that you weren't sure about, that you all of a sudden said, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like, I don't know how to do anything. Really? Anything? Everything? Is that true? So here's your action item. And then we're going to hop off and come back tomorrow for more. I want you to today think about, what do you know for sure? What is certain, right? Because if you feel like there's so much uncertainty and you're managing yourself, right? So we already talked about that at the very beginning. Like if you're getting worked up, you need more self-care. You need to be able to bring down the stress level, however you need to, okay? But in this moment, I'm going to assume you're watching me on some kind of Wi-Fi device, right? Hello, Jody. So that means to me, you are not struggling as much as somebody who can't afford some kind of device to watch me. Okay. So, given that you're already leaps and bounds ahead, given that you already have certainty that has given you the ability to be watching and interacting with me right here, right now. Okay. So, even if you just take that, there are things in your life right now that are completely certain that you know for sure the sun will rise and the moon will come out at night. That goes like clockwork. I know that around 5 to 7, somewhere in there, my kids are gonna get squirrely. I can count on it. I can count on it that I'm certain that my children are gonna want dinner, right? So what are the things that you're certain about? And if you review all of that, I promise you that the thing that feels like, "I don't know enough, I don't know what to do," like the world is falling, that kind of henny penny mentality is going to slowly, but it surely will dissipate and disappear, right? The last piece of this is take action. And if you watched yesterday on YouTube, you would have heard me say the same thing. The more that we can take micro steps, baby, tiny steps, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is that I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing myself that it is safe to do this because having had a lot of things go kind of boom this year, it's triggered a lot of my nervous system. And I know how to regulate my nervous system. And the best way that I show up for me is by showing up for others. So when I give generously, when I serve, when I help, then it makes me feel like I have some control. And it allows me to take charge of the things that I know to be true. So tomorrow I'm going to share a little bit more about like how I transferred this into starting my business and how I transfer this into every opportunity that feels a little bit wobbly. Okay. So that you can get like a real life situation. But for right now, you have your marching orders, you have some homework to work on. Come back and report into the comments if you are going to go ahead and do this, because I think it's really important to have and share public accountability, but also to be able to celebrate. I want you to celebrate because that is the number one defeater of uncertainty. Because when you can say, I've operated out of faith, I'm no longer allowing fear to keep me stuck, because instead of looking at all the things that could go wrong, I'm narrowing in my focus and saying, look at all the stuff that I already know. And here's the one thing that I want to take action on because I'm not quite sure how it will end up, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to do it despite that fear, right? Because people who are courage and bold and brave, they are not lacking fear. They just don't allow fear to keep them stuck. They don't allow fear to control the outcomes in their life. And so if you're being held captive to fear and uncertainty, now's the time to break free. Now's the time to just take one tiny little step. And perhaps that's you coming back and commenting that you did it, that you've done something to move you forward, to be able to share for yourself that I can do this, that I can make myself feel braver and bolder and more courageous, even in the face of uncertainty. So that's your homework item for today. Whatever is your action item, go ahead and share and report, and we will be back. We will be back tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be shorter because my goal is to do 5 to 10 minutes so that these are quick and easy for you to digest. They're going to get you moving and get you going before the end of the year, because it is not too late. It is not too late to go after your dreams. It is not too late to achieve and accomplish something greater, and to get 1% better every day. We're going to accomplish so much more than if we just wait until January. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Life waits for nobody. Greatness waits for nobody. You are great and you can be greater today. So go and do it. Okay. So thank you so much. And we will see you again tomorrow.